Hey guys, this morning I'm off today. It's Monday, day after New Year's Day, and my plan this morning was to make a video about how Popes Francis, Pope Benedict, and Pope St. John Paul II led this ex-evangelical back to the church. And I will do that when I get home from daily mass. But as I was when I tell you guys stories, I go by memory. And, I left the Catholic Church, 38 years ago, came back about 7 or 8 years ago. So I just wanted to get my dates straight. And, I'm just going to tell you like it is, like I remember. But I wanted to talk about certain dates and certain events. And so I was looking up stuff. At the same time, I wanted to encourage you guys to go to realestateforlife.org, like I always do. If you're buying or selling real estate, it's the only pro-life real estate company I know of. In fact, it's a pro-life Catholic company. They're so pro-life that they've schooled me on several occasions, because I come from a pro-life Protestant background, and I didn't realize that I wasn't completely pro-life till I talked to the president of this company a couple times. So I wanted to tell you some reasons why you should go to realestateforlife.org. And I was looking up some statistics that I knew, but I wanted to make sure that I had them exactly right. And the more I dove into it, I'm like, oh, I got to tell them this and I got to tell them that. And so somehow this video came to be, and I believe it's what God wants me to share with you guys today. So please share it, like it, subscribe, and I mean share it, share with people, because Big Brother that runs YouTube, without a doubt, will demonetize this. I'm not going to make any money on this one. I only make a few cents on each one anyway, a few dollars sometimes, but that's not why I do this, obviously. But there's a good chance they'll pull it down. They've pulled down some videos of mine in the past. They've deplatformed other YouTubers, and that's why you hear a lot of YouTubers won't say certain things, or they'll spell out certain words. But I think this is too important for me to play any games. I'm going to give it to you straight. Like we say in Jersey, be a straight shooter, be a stand-up guy. And that's what I'm going to try and be. So just right off the bat, here are the facts. There's a black genocide happening in America today, 2022. And the statistics I'm about to show you will prove this out. In New York City, every year, more black babies are aborted than born. The organization that's doing most of this killing is Planned Parenthood. I like to refer to them as Klan Parenthood, because the founder of Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, I actually saw her, and you could Google this. I believe it was Mike Wallace, Chris Wallace's father, back in the day, a black and white TV show. Back in the day, Mike Wallace smoking a cigarette, thinking he's all cool, interviewing Margaret Sanger. And Margaret Sanger said she really, really enjoyed giving speeches at KKK rallies because they were so enthusiastic about her message. And what was her message? Well, in one of her KKK rallies, she's quoted as saying this: the Negro race are like weeds, human weeds that need to be exterminated. So we need to put our clinics in Negro neighborhoods. Today, 80% of Planned Parenthood clinics are in neighborhoods of color. And if that's not bad enough, their plan is working. Like I said, New York City, more black babies are aborted than born every year. I just looked up the statistics, the U.S. Census Bureau, to see black population growth in New York. From 2010 to 2020, it declined 4.5%. 4.5% in New York City. Brooklyn had the, if you're not familiar with New York, there's 5 boroughs, Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Staten Island, and Queens. Brooklyn had the most decline, 8.7% decline in black population. Now you can say, well, everybody's leaving New York because it sucks. No, Brooklyn had a 9.2% overall growth. That's like a 17% swing. The borough grew 9.2%, but the black population declined 4.5%. Chicago down 6%. The overall increase in population was 1.6%. Washington, D.C. down 6%. The overall increase is 15%. What do these cities have in common? They're Democrat-run cities for years, for decades. And it's no coincidence that when Hillary Clinton was running for president, she said that she greatly admired Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood. You know, I did a video years ago on I started a different channel. I don't even think I was Catholic at the time. It was called Rob the Blue Collar Guy. And I talked about this, and I called it Racism in America. And I had Facebook at the time. And believe it or not, I have a lot of liberal friends and relatives. So I tagged all my liberal friends and relatives. And I showed them the facts. The Democrat Party is the party that started the KKK. Robert Byrd was the Democrat Senate leader for like the whole 90s. When they were in the majority, he was their majority leader. When they were in the minority, he was their minority leader. And not only was he a member of the KKK, he was a Grand Kleagle, and he bragged about recruiting like 150 of his racist friends. And the Democrats, this ain't like 1960s when everybody knew the Democrats were racist. This is in the 90s. And in fact, in 2005, he dropped the N-word on national TV like 5 times. And the media just ignored it because he was a popular Democrat, a high-ranking Democrat. And at his funeral, Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton said that he was basically their mentor. So I put this out to my liberal friends, and I pointed out, I went down to every state that took down the Confederate flag, and I showed them that it was raised by a Democrat governor, and I gave the name and date, and it was pulled down by the Republican governor. I gave the name and the date. And their argument was, well, you know, the Democrats used to be racist, and then all the racists left the Democrat Party and came to the Republicans. And then I made a video, and I showed them that 80% of the people that voted for the civil rights bills in the 60s were Republicans. Overwhelmingly, it was the Republican Party. Overwhelmingly, the people that voted against civil rights were Democrats. And out of the hundreds in the Congress and the many dozens in the Senate, only one switched party. That was Strom Thurmond. And he said he repented, you know. But even if he did, that's one out of hundreds. So that's a myth that the Democrats switched party. All those racist Democrats, and even Kamala Harris called out Joe Biden because he was friends with these racists, and they were Democrats. You know, remember that first debate when Kamala called out Joe Biden for being friends with these segregationists, and she gave their names. There was 2 senators, I think she mentioned particularly. They were both Democrat senators. So if we're going to defeat this evil, and this is evil, you cannot be a Christian and stand for racism, and you cannot be a Christian and stand for murder and genocide, whether you're a Protestant Christian or a Catholic Christian. If you're buying or selling real estate, it is important to go to realestateforlife.org and support a pro-life company, because the enemy is outspending us 35-1, and we've seen in American politics what money does. They beat us in the last election cycle on every abortion law. Not because they had the better argument, not because the truth was on their side, but because they outspend us 35-1, and they had all these fancy Hollywood commercials, and people were confused and people were persuaded. In politics, it comes down to money, and the Democrats outspend us every time. We got to get it close. And when you support companies like realestateforlife.org, they help our side. They help our cause. So please go to realestateforlife.org if you're buying or selling real estate, And you'll be doing yourself a favor, because we only hire the most professional, most experienced Christian realtors in the business. And when you vote, you got to vote pro-life. There's no getting around it. God bless. Stay Catholic. Hopefully they don't deplatform me. So save this video, share it. And like I said, when I get back from daily mass, I got one. I'm really excited. You know, good news about our great popes, our last 3 popes, and how they changed. This evangelical kid who was totally anti-Catholic and hated the papacy, and how I changed. You know, I'm not going to give you some great theological lesson, but I'm going to give you a real life lesson of what 3 great Catholics did for one evangelical. And I'm going to give you examples of many others. So God bless and stay Catholic.